So welcome to our Drinks with Geeks Captain Marvel review part 2.
Spoilers.
This one's special. I brought Bumblebee because this review will have spoilers.
Because he has a spoiler.
Because he has a spoiler.
Okay.
Both a sex reference and a drug reference.
He's drunk too.
Oh my god, he's so f***ed up right now.
You are 56-pound sperm.
Oh my god, what are we gonna do? Da-da-da-da. Jaeger.
This is happening right behind me, isn't it?
Ball joints. It turns into a T-Rex.
I know it's there when I feel it at the tips.
Oh, I just looked Everclear. I swore Everclear.
You used Everclear.
Oh god, we're doing Everclear again.
It's like a ham potato alcohol orgy.
Grandma's killer fruit drink.
Fire truck that becomes a robot!
Unique twerking ability.
What is this thing?
Oh crap, it was supposed to be rum.
Quetzalcoatl. You said Quetzalcoatl. Free Shavakadu breast.
It's great with Szechuan sauce.
Oh god.
On to more mature discussions.
I'm sorry.
Our comic book character has been made in film mode. Film
Mode? You were looking at the robot, and you thought robot mode.
robot mode.
If you didn't watch the no spoiler review, a couple of the main highlights were the fact that we actually enjoyed Brie Larson's acting, contrary to all the trailers and even for me the opening 2 shots of the film. I thought she was going to be, no offense to Daisy Ridley, but I'm not a fan of the way she portrayed Rey. It's just kind of a dull performance. And I thought that we were going to get another kind of that performance. We overall liked the character development, the prosthetics,
Cinematography
yeah.
was or CGI was good. We didn't really talk much about the cinematography because it was all CGI.
Yeah,
because
well,
it was outer space.
I had a complaint about the CGI third act thing, but that's kind of to be expected with a modern superhero film that isn't involving Thanos. So, yeah, all in all, we had a pretty positive response.
Yep.
But now we're going to go ahead and talk about the spoiler stuff.
Yes. So, there's a cat.
There's a cat. So this is what I was talking about. Fury did nothing in the film. He literally held the purse being the cat.
Yes, the cat. You were really thinking, you and Joy, because I heard both of you
Thought he was a Skrull.
thought the cat was a Skrull.
Well, we knew it was something. Well, I mean, you'd have to be 5.
They played
or
up
Will
this. They played
to
up.
not know.
They played up this cat as a character.
I kind of
lot.
wanted it just to be a cat, and they're
Just
like, and like the epic scene happens, and like they're all like, you know, like just locked up, and it's stalemate, you know, Mexican showdown, and the cat just strolls in dramatically, and they're all like, oh, fuck, and the cat just sits.
and starts licking
And
itself.
nothing happens. Like, that would have been great. That would have been for me a good Marvel subversion of drama because it was kind of a funny drama. Would have been kind of a funny drama to start.
But it's not just a cat.
It's
not a Skrull.
It's a Bindleglor for whatever.
No, it's a
It's a hentai tentacle monster. Is what it is.
Oh man, I forget what it is now. Now I'm gonna have to Google this shit. It's Come on, Google.
So I thought the cat was kind of dumb, not because of what it did, but because like it literally could eat people, and Fury's still holding it. I'm like, the mass of the people it just ate didn't change. Like even if he condensed them down,
It's a flurkin.
It's a flurkin. Even if you could condense them down, there's still like 3 people inside that cat that Fury. And even if you were Fury, maybe you could still hold the cat. But
It held an Infinity Stone.
which wasn't heavy. Everybody can pick it up.
Yeah, well, it held the Tesseract. It was a good purse for it.
Yeah. Fury literally was the guy holding the bag the whole movie.
Not knowing what he's holding at that point.
What's a cat?
Yes, it is a cat, but it's not just a cat.
No, because they were on the ship and they were showing it to the Skrull. And they're like,
It's a flurkin!
He's like, leave it. Like, don't be freaked out about the cat. And he's like, what's a cat?
It's a flurkin.
It was a quick line. It was like right before a cut.
Okay, so other really cool shit that happened in the movie that is spoilerful.
So the actor who played the head Skrull, I can't think of the name of the actor or the character.
Talos,
thank you. I saw you because you see him as the Skrull first, and I was like, by the way his mouth moved, I was like, I know that guy. He was the guy that was Hackett in Dark Knight Rises. He was the bad guy in Ready Player One.
Yep.
And so I knew it was him.
He does a good job at playing bad guys.
And then he walked on screen as a human. I was like, oh shit, he's the Skrull guy. He's the bad guy.
Right. Well, I saw that shot, but
I
it
caught
didn't.
like the first only like half-second glimpse of him.
I didn't. It didn't process who it was because I knew they were going to introduce Coulson, and so I assumed, oh, that's Coulson, and like it was a throwaway shot. It was like half a second where he appeared in front of a doorway, right?
Yeah.
And
Or it was like right outside the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes before they really debuted him.
So I was just like, oh, it's Coulson, and you're like, oh, it's that guy. I don't remember what you said in the theater at the point.
It's the bad guy, I think, or whatever. The alien.
Oh, you said he's the Skrull.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? No, it's Coulson. And then it turns
Which
out
it
like
turned out that
5 minutes
there
later,
was-
Coulson is a Skrull.
Yeah.
But not the actual Coulson,
Yeah.
obviously.
You know, I was surprised the movie didn't feature more of him.
Who, Coulson?
Yeah. Because he was like a fan favorite.
Oh, people loved him. They probably wanted to play up more of Samuel Jackson.
But like,
Because
this
he-
would have been their only opportunity to have more Coulson.
No,
he's
he has
dead.
a TV show.
Yeah, but who watches that? Do you watch it, Will? No, you don't.
I have.
Oh, you do? You
Yeah.
have or you do? There's a big difference.
Well, it's not playing anymore, I don't think.
Did they can't? I mean,
Okay, it got to a point where I was just like, yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore because it was just like too... oh,
labored?
pretty much, yeah. No,
Yeah,
not
you-
labored. It got too soap opera-y. Like, it's just like...
Went daytime television on itself.
got a relationship here and a relationship here, and it's just...
It's my opinion that
so-and-so loves so-and-so, and they can't be together. Or they tried it, and it just didn't work. Maybe they should try again.
Yeah. I think love stories are the worst thing to happen to storytelling.
God. It's in everything. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's no unique angle to play on it anymore because there's only one end result.
Them fucking.
And there's, or the happily ever after in that sense. Yes.
So...
Or not, but I mean, either way, there's only two outcomes, or you can
Yeah.
kill one of them. For the most part, there's two outcomes.
So, where did we get there from?
Coulson's Skrulls.
Coulson's Skrull. Okay. Yes, there is a shit ton of nostalgia in, like...
For the 90s babies? Oh, yeah.
So, like, between her landing...
in a actual blockbuster.
Did you get the Top Gun reference?
Yeah, because she was a pilot.
Not just because she was a pilot, but, like, that...
Way to the danger zone.
So, the, like...
And every time that gets me.
The scene with her and her friend, what's her name? Her black friend's name?
I don't know.
I
I didn't
don't
remember the
her
name of the main villain that was not the villain, but spoiler.
Mia, stop.
Yeah, don't lick the camera. It's not food. Get up.
So, the scene where they're both getting into their cockpits and it's like a flashback.
Okay, to be fair, I've only seen Top Gun once.
Okay, it's a scene from Top Gun, pretty much. It was like
Okay.
almost copy and paste.
Okay. But this is a good movie to copy and paste. Like,
Yeah,
Top
it's
Gun.
timeless. Yeah, everything like the first like 15 minutes of her being on Earth was all just nostalgia. Like you had the blockbuster, the music. I'm trying to think of everything.
She wore the she had her sweater tied around
Oh, the
her
sweater
waist.
tied around
Oh,
flannel,
God, yeah,
flannel
flannel.
tied around her
With the
waist.
well, I don't know if they were acid wash jeans, but they were like the paler jeans.
Yeah.
At least I think so. That's what's in my head.
One issue I had. So, I don't know what year they were invented, but the hat she had on that said Shield. Mm-hmm. It was a flex fit hat. I don't think flex fit hats were invented by them.
It bugged me that they called it S.H.I.E.L.D. in the movie when they didn't call it S.H.I.E.L.D. until the end of Iron Man in 2008.
Shield has been around for a long time.
The
Agent Carter.
concept of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent
yes,
Carter.
but like
No, it was even called Shield then.
Iron Man 1 very specifically said, this is what we're called, we're working on a better name.
Agent Carter.
What's Agent Carter?
It is a TV show. It takes place. It's a part of the MCU.
Like connected to the cinematic
So-
universe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
then that contradicts
Captain
Iron
America.
Man.
No, Captain America, the first Captain America movie, his girlfriend, Agent Carter.
Right, but did they call it S.H.I.E.L.D. then?
Yes.
Okay, well then that directly contradicts Iron Man 1.
I don't know what you're talking about. Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1, we meet Coulson.
He makes a joke that they couldn't come up with a better name. I remember that.
Right, and then
but that doesn't mean that they.
At the end of the movie, he's like, "Oh, we're just called S.H.I.E.L.D. now." Like, it was a joke throughout the movie because he kept calling it the Strategic Homeland something, 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 something. And it isn't until the very end of Iron Man 1 that he's like, "Oh, it's just called S.H.I.E.L.D. now."
Is it just? I don't remember the scene specifically. Did he say it's just called S.H.I.E.L.D. now, or did
not
he
verbatim?
Did
but
he
that
say
was the meaning.
it's just called S.H.I.E.L.D.? You keep calling it this long name.
No,
you
he
don't have
was
to
the
call
one
it
who
that.
kept calling it the long name.
Well, no, Phil called it the long name.
That's who I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Fury.
Fury didn't show up until the end credit scene in Iron Man 1.
I'll have to look this up. This is getting off track and unimportant.
Well, we're talking about
but S.H.I.E.L.D.
inconsistencies.
existed. Like they had the
Right, the
emblem and
organization existed, but Iron Man 1 treated it like they didn't have the name S.H.I.E.L.D. until the end of the movie.
everything. They probably just wanted to debut it. You think they? Do you really think they've thought that far? Like this? Okay, I guess they have thought this far ahead because they've had this.
I just saw a picture I saved from 2015 that had an outline of all the movies that we're still in the middle of that they've kept the beat on. Like they haven't lost track. They're still. So yes, they have planned that far ahead.
Well, I'm talking. Because I don't think Agent Carter was meant to be a TV show. Like, I don't think they planned that out. Or even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mia, stop.
Good God. Oh, the other one that bugged me is Fury said, "I can't unsee that." And I, like the meme, cannot be unseen. But it was 1995.
I can't unsee what.
The aliens. Like, right after the car chase and they got to the bar... And he's like, "I just saw an alien autopsy. I can't unsee that."
I mean, I thought that was just a saying.
I think it's a new saying, though.
Is
I think
it?
it's like a 2000s, late 2000s saying.
I mean, it just makes sense to me. I don't
It bugged me. It bugged me because it's not vernacular of the period.
That doesn't make... That doesn't
Because
take
apparently
much reading.
90s is period.
So...
Because I'm old.
Yeah, so they... Lots of nostalgia thrown in there. They even had some... I saw online that they actually had some X-Men references in there. Like they had the Uncanny X-Men playing in the background at one of the scenes.
Did not pick up on that.
Neither did I. That's why I said I saw it on the internet. Anyways, no, they... and the scene we were talking about that made you give the feels...
When he meets his daughter for the first time on the ship.
Yeah.
I was just like, why am I emotionally invested
Okay.
in these horrible green monsters?
So he, as in Talos, meets his daughter
on the secret ship.
On the secret ship that Marvel had orbiting,
Set up for them, yeah.
orbiting Earth, and
Cloaked.
It was cloaked, and he meets his daughter on that ship because Marvel was protecting them.
And they didn't end the scene with a fart joke. Like,
I know, right?
I feel something, and I can continue to feel that without it being ruined. Thor Ragnarok.
Now, what about the scene where Talos got shot?
They glossed over it so fast. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna die. And then they did nothing with it.
They didn't. They really didn't.
So, which, Matt,
Hurry your ass up, you piece of shit, motherfucker!
we don't want to ruin the movie for you.
Hurry your ass up and get in your fucking cave.
So, I was watching Nostalgia Critic of the first X-Men from 2000 or whatever, and at the near the end of the video, he was complaining that Mystique somehow survived getting impaled by Wolverine, and like he seemed upset about it, and like the Nostalgia Critic did, and I'm like, she's a shapeshifter. That's basically what healing is. It's your body shapeshifting to fix a wound.
She could have shaped it.
Right, like if you can literally turn into anyone, you can probably easily
turn into a hole.
or not a hole. Like if she can turn into a man,
But would that make her then invulnerable?
I mean, yeah, she would have Wolverine's healing factor effectively. Now maybe
if
not.
she became Wolverine.
No, I'm not saying. Well, I'm not saying like she can turn into the image of anyone, the physical outer layer, which
Right.
means she would physically be a man, have man parts. Why couldn't she? So when Talos got shot, I'm like, he's a shapeshifter. Just do the thing, like.
Right.
Unless you're killed in the moment of receiving the wound, theoretically you should be able to heal, depending on the limits of your shape-shifting ability. I don't know if you can turn into a filing cabinet or not, but you could theoretically heal any wound.
Where was that joke at?
It was when they were
Was
on
that
the
in the
ship.
movie?
Yeah, they were on the ship on the way, and they were asking what he could turn into, and they're like,
Oh, that's right.
Could you turn into a filing cabinet? He's like, why? Speaking of which, the performance by this actor, I saw him in the movie, I saw him in the makeup initially. I don't like him as an actor. I've never seen him in a role I actually really liked him, and he gave a really interesting performance, and then you find out he's not the bad guy, which was a great twist for the Skrull, because for me, the Skrull's just a throwaway bunch of alien bad guys that, you just shoot a bunch of them and have your spy thing and end of plot, right? And the twist they did was great, and his performance, even up until that point, was really engaging. Like, I like the way he did everything in that performance. And then it became emotional on top of it. And I was like, this is great. Like, his performance out of the film, hands down, is my favorite.
Yeah, he did a really good job. The Skrull, they're portrayed as such a minion type race in the comics,
And even in the movie, up until the point that you realize they're not the bad guys.
and they really kind of turned that on its head. If that makes sense at all? Now the Kree are just
The Kree have
assholes.
just always been douches.
They're just pompous assholes, and so I kind of like the fact that they did that the way they did.
Because
Right.
I'd forgotten the Kree were douches.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a turn on both for me, because when it happened and the Kree were the bad guys, it was like, oh yeah, I remember them being dickheads from, I think it was Avengers Assemble is what I watched.
No,
9 years ago.
I liked his, but that actor always plays a bad guy, so it's hard to judge him outside of that.
Well, no, it's not that he plays a bad guy, it's that he plays a, like, weedy bad guy, like...
Yeah, he always does.
Like, he just plays, like, like, he doesn't play, like, Darth Vader, or even...
But that's
Tom
what
Hardy.
That's what he always plays, though.
Right, and
So it's hard
it
to
was
judge
nice
his-
to see that range
Oh,
that
see
he's
him
very capable of.
right.
Because up until that point, it's like every time I see Eric Bana, I want to stop whatever movie I'm watching.
So he did I did like how he really pulled you into his family connection and pulled Captain Marvel out of her
The bubble that she'd been put in.
her delusion. You know, she had this image that she had in her head of what the Skrull were and what Earth was and what her life was, and he just blew the lid on it. Now I was expecting, him to have
still be a bad guy.
yeah, like at the very end, him still make a twist and say, actually, ... this is my true plot. That didn't happen.
Which was good.
I would have kind of liked that because that would have been really true to the Skrull, but I liked what they did because it changed the perspective of what the Skrull are, and I have a feeling they're going to come up in Phase 4 again. Mm-hmm. I think
And
they're
there
going to
could
come
be
up.
a sub-faction of Skrull that show up that's led by Super Skrull, and they're a bunch of fucking dickheads. And there you go. Boom. There's your enemy.
So I have a feeling they're going to come up more often in Phase 4. Now that Disney is just basically going balls to the wall with the MCU.
You know what they did with the Skrull? They did the same thing with them, a similar thing with them that they did with Zemo. Do you know who Zemo? I know you know who Zemo is.
Zemo sounds so familiar.
He wears like the pink hood and he's got the sword. He was in Civil War. He was the guy that incited the entire fight between Captain America and Iron Man. He was the guy that blew up the UN and killed Black Panther's dad.
Okay.
His family was killed in I think it was
the Russian-Ukrainian city place there.
Yeah. They took this character that looked ridiculous and had no emotional connection, and they just completely changed him and made him engaging, and you felt bad for him at the end of the movie. It's like, yeah, you did this horrible thing, but he did it because he was so hurt, you know, and you feel for the guy. They did this kind of the same thing with the Skrull, where they took this throwaway, kind of ridiculous, honestly, enemy and made them emotional. You know, why do I feel for these horrible Green Goblin people? But I do.
So I do like what they did with it, but the purist in me wants to see, I want to see it. You know what I mean? It's just a peep. So they might bring it up in Phase 4, which this is the official launch of Phase 4 for the MCU. And I'm excited. This movie's got me excited for what they're gonna do, because they're basically finally expanding beyond what I was hoping they would do before Infinity War, to be quite honest. Expanding beyond Earth and into the cosmos and bring more cosmic powers in.
That's a slow step you gotta take, though.
But see, the thing is...
And it's good that they took their time. Because Thor was really ridiculous, and he looks like a dude.
Well...
Like a person. A human.
Thor...
That's
its own problem. But
that one was sketchy as it was. And they pulled it off.
What I'm trying to say is, in the Infinity Gauntlet series in the comics involves a lot of cosmic beings.
More than just
the Guardians of the Galaxy. And
which they were the craziest ones, I think. Them and Doctor Strange were probably the least grounded of the team on the good side.
I wanted this before Thanos really got going. I was hoping they would develop more.
You just wanted the giant cluster fudge of everybody running at Thanos, and he's just tink, 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 taking them all on, and
that's kind of what happened in the comics. But no, I wanted to see all of the cosmic beings plotting against him and figuring out, how can we take him down, and because in the comics, Silver Surfer gets travels across an entire galaxy to be outside of Thanos' range of reading his mind. And
because he can do that? He can read minds?
I think that's what it was, if I remember correctly. This is a few years ago that I read this. And to catch him off guard, he's traveling across the galaxy to hit him, to kill him.
I was gonna say, does he just keep going as fast as he can, just gaining speed until he just runs into him?
And the whole point was to take him out.
Rail gun?
Pretty much, yes.
On a surf. It got dumber when I started saying that.
That happens a lot.
When you get to the surfboard part, you're like, oh, this just fell apart in my head.
So, and I want this scene to happen. All this anticipation building, the cosmic beings just hovering, waiting in anticipation for this to happen, while all of the Avengers are distracting Thanos by killing themselves, sacrificing themselves for Silver Surfer to take him out. And he misses.
What's he hit?
Nothing.
A 7-11. Oh.
He literally just misses. That's literally what happens in the comics. He just
Thanos
misses.
is just something moved my hair? Oh, right.
But,
never mind.
And that could be, the end of the movie. The end of part 1. Oh, fuck.
He missed.
Now what? And that's where Adam Warlock comes in.
Is that not Professor Xavier's son?
What? No.
What's Professor Xavier's son's name? I could have swore it had Warlock in it.
I don't know, but
I'm looking that up. Sorry,
no,
I don't know these things.
No, where did that question come from? Oh, Adam Warlock. No, Adam Warlock he's a thing. He's so hard to describe because he just kind of pops up out of nowhere.
I
But
have no idea where I got that from. His name is I forgot.
You just
I
looked at
just threw the phone down and I forgot. Legion,
it. So
which is an awesome name.
Adam
Warlock.
Adam Warlock, yes. So at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you remember the end credit scene with the gold people?
Oh yeah.
And she
Adam.
says, we will call him Adam. That's supposed to be Adam Warlock.
So you were like really hardcore chubbing on Adam being in. Look how excited he is.
And I'm really hoping that they do something
Squeeze
with it
him
in Endgame.
Well, especially since they're not doing Guardians of the Galaxy anymore, at least as of right now.
We'll see what happens. They're kind of fucking themselves up at that point.
Yeah. If they don't do it, you mean?
What do you mean? Wait, what? Oh, if they don't do it? Well, I mean, the whole thing, that's just... Duh! Everything. Like, from the beginning of the James Gunn controversy to up until now. Ugh! So, anyways, off that topic.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about? I've pretty much said everything I want. Like, I just loved the movie.
I was legitimately impressed that Marvel, and I know we covered this in the non-spoiler, but for those who didn't watch it, I was legitimately impressed that they committed to the emotional scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The scene in her friend's house where they're talking, and her friend's talking about, you were gone for 6 years, and I knew you were out there, and that was the hardest part. That scene ends by the little girl calling them into the other room to look at Captain Marvel's, not remains, stuff she left behind, whatever it's called, for another emotional scene. The emotional scene ended with a segue into another emotional scene. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of Marvel movies. Like, it's just, I was blown away, because I remember when the little girl called him in, I was like, she's gonna sit on a whoopee cushion. It's gonna be something fucking stupid. And it wasn't. It was good. The jokes, for the most part, were well timed. The only one I had a problem with, and I think this is more me, and maybe it's just because I'm a little bit Marvel joke subverting the drama weary, is Jude Law's character. At the very end, he's like, come on, fight me without the powers, because like, he threw his gun and his knife or whatever. And I was like...
Dude, that was so Indiana Jones.
But, no...
I literally, like, I was like, yes, Indiana Jones.
But Indiana Jones
right
wasn't
now.
building up to the fight between Indiana Jones and the Whip Guy. The whole movie was building up to that. It was, for me, it was a rug being pulled out, because it's an incomplete arc. And then there's the other side of it. Joy was like, you know, she doesn't owe him anything. She doesn't need to prove anything.
And that's another point. Because as I said, this is kind of a bit of a woman's movement type movie. Women don't need to prove themselves of anything.
And
if
I
they
agree.
can get the shit done, they get the shit done. Doesn't matter how they get the shit done, as long as they get the shit done. She kicks his ass. Doesn't matter how she kicks his ass.
She just does it.
Exactly.
Which, and I mean, but outside of the whole women's lib thing, like, just... I see the other side of it. I'm talking about how I felt about it. And I'm admitting that this is not an objective viewpoint. This is my personal... Because there are times where I look at something and I'm like, this is objectively that way, and if you disagree, you're dumb. And I will say that. This is not one of those times. It's I recognize it that I didn't like it. And again, it's probably that Marvel joke subversion, like, tired thing that I have.
Yeah, and I
Plus, I would have liked to have seen that fight. Honestly,
that would have been a cool fight, but I think
not just for the fight element, but for the actual, like, emotional. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to be better than you. And in a way, she was. But yeah.
Well, she was better than him in a lot of ways. So, I actually did enjoy what they did because of the different little different things. Like I took it as an Indiana Jones reference personally. And on top of that, it was her growing past, I don't have to prove this to you now.
Which I get that.
I've proven it to myself.
And I think that's legitimate, and that's a part of me, like, I factor that in. And I recognize,
And I think that's
there's
also
that
part of her
it.
story arc, too.
And
because she starts off as this character, so just like your hero's journey, she starts off having powers, and I think she knew how to use them properly. He was just trying to suppress her, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
because they kept saying, control them, don't let them control you. And
she never had a problem controlling.
Yeah, she never, like, well, not even at the beginning. Like, she was just wanting to kick his fucking ass because he was a dick. I mean, I think that's what it was.
You know what? I think that weakens her character for me.
What, wanting to kick his ass?
Because every time the going got hard, she took the easy way out.
Wouldn't you?
I'm not a hero. I wouldn't aspire to be me.
But
don't be me.
But like the thing is, so
but I don't think that's worth looking up to. Because that's what the heroes. I mean, the hero shouldn't just take the easy way out. They should be stronger than the situation.
Well, now we're
not necessarily physically.
We're talking specifically about her powers, correct?
Right, because whenever it came down to her losing to him, she, like, in the opening scene and in the final part of the movie, whenever it came down to losing, she just busted out the power.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it bothers me, because it's taking the easy way out.
Now, but the thing, so the whole...
Because there's honor in fighting someone on an even keel. Sorry.
The whole taking the easy way out thing. Like, you have to also understand, she's also human.
Right.
So you know me. If there's an easy way out, I will find that shit.
Right, but I don't aspire to be you.
But
you're not a role model. Don't be like him.
But what I'm saying is that she's just gonna do what she needs to do to get the fucking job done. Like, is she going to try to handcuff herself just so that she can prove herself? Why would she do that? Is there a reason for that? Not really.
No, like, and I agree in that
cinematography.
I agree in that situation, but I think the broader takeaway from that is the easy way out, because she, it was something she did twice. So I mean, 2 times the trend does not make, but at the same time, we see her do this consistently from beginning to end of the movie.
Well,
it's just a little weak to me.
So I get it as far as a film is considered. Like, as far as storytelling is considered. But as far as a human is considered, why would you want to do that voluntarily? But as far as a film is concerned, yeah, I get the, telling a story and, trying to loosen up or tighten up, a loose end, or trying to make a story more compelling, more relatable, whatever. But what I'm saying is like, solely as a human, because I think that's one of her flaws, is that she is human. And I think that that kind of shows itself in that moment, is that she's just human.
But that's her final act as the hero in the movie. At least in the climax. And I think that makes it that much more important. If this was something she did...
No, but you're speaking as far as a story is concerned.
Which, this is the takeaway, right? This is the climax of the movie. This is when the message is being conveyed. The pinnacle of the message is being conveyed. And I think I said this on the way home from the theater. One of the other reasons it would have worked for me is if her character throughout the movie really put a lot of weight on beating him without powers. And it was one of those moments where at the end of the movie she goes, "You know what I realize I don't need to do that. I thought I had to validate myself or something, and I don't have to now." One of those moments. If they'd done it like that, I would have been like, okay, there you go, character growth. But that scene objectively worked against character growth. More so worked against character growth than it did towards it, in my mind. Because in some ways, yes, she grew, that she didn't need his validation. I'm saying that's outweighed by just kind of a cheap shot. I think that's bigger to me.
I think her moving past needing validation from someone else is more important. to me. Just
Which
as far as a character.
I never saw her really needing his validation in the movie.
At the very beginning, that's all she was wanting.
Is it?
She was
'Cause they
wanting to be
seemed kinda
accepted by.
equals.
She was wanting to be accepted by the Kree.
I didn't feel that. I guess
Hmm.
if that was the case, I didn't feel that.
That's how I was trying. That's how I understood everything as far as like the first 15 minutes. Is that she was trying to be accepted as a warrior amongst the Kree, and she had to validate herself through hand-to-hand combat, and that the powers that were handed to her needed to be validated through that hand-to-hand combat.
See, and I was confused because I wasn't sure throughout the movie if she even knew that she was different than them.
Oh, because she had powers?
Well, because she looked like them. Like, I didn't...
They all looked different. Some of them were blue, some of them weren't.
Right,
some
and
of
that's
them
why I
had
was
funny
like...
eye colors, some of them didn't.
I wasn't clear on whether or not she even knew that she wasn't of their species. I mean, they said they found her,
She
but...
bled blue.
Did she?
Yeah,
When?
at the very beginning.
In the flashback?
Yeah.
That flashback wasn't real.
Right. Well,
That flashback was altered.
right, but
Because
she,
it wasn't consistent with what ended up actually
she
happening.
got the the second flashback. She was bleeding red initially. Then she got hit by the Kree Force.
Oh, so she does bleed blue.
She now bleeds blue.
So yeah, there's no indicator that she even thought she was different. So I did not get that she needed validation from anyone.
Well,
in fact, she was a very strong, independent character throughout the entire film. She never really conveyed any sort of vulnerability outside of "I don't know who I am."
which requires validation to know who you are,
Not necessarily. Not from other people necessarily.
The reason why I understood it that way is because when she had her memory wiped, I'm sure she felt as if she didn't belong.
But you're assuming that. I mean, this is the Batman argument.
Well,
Like, when we meet Batman in BVS and he's killing people, you can either assume that he used to be a different Batman, but we're not given that. And emotionally, for me, I need to be given what you want me to feel. If not, I'm not going to feel it. You're not telling the story you need to, in my mind.
well, I assume a lot.
See, and you put a lot of the comics onto it. And I come, like I said, in the spoiler-free review, every time I see a new version of a character, whether it's Ben Affleck as Batman or Christian Bale as Batman, it is a fresh, new, completely slate-clean version for me. Whatever you want me to feel about that character, you have to show that to me. All right? I'm not going to project what I feel about Batman. I mean, I will unintentionally, but I'm going to do everything I can to have this fresh perspective, and I want to experience it as you want me to. I'm not going to assume as best I can.
Well, good for you.
I'm not trying to say I'm better. I just, like, that's what I want, because I want to feel what the storytellers want me to feel. And because if I'm projecting, I may miss the point.
Anyways, what was this? Where did this all start from? Validation,
The
story arc,
the Jude Law energy punch thing. When she didn't actually beat him. Now, if she just walked away and said, "I'm not going to even try," that might have been different. I might have taken that differently.
Well, she wanted to send a message to the Kree. Remember, she shoved him into the ship and did a metaphorical ass slap on the horse.
On the ship.
Because when she did that, it was as if like she slapped a horse's ass and made it start galloping
She'd
off.
used her powers and just grabbed him and shoved him in the ship. I think for me, and again, I'm nitpicking, but it's important. It's an important moment in the film, and for me, if you don't do it right, you miss it.
I don't know. I thought it was just her, literally just her, just proving that she no longer needed his validation to be a good warrior.
That's.
So that's.
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone because I got other shit I could say about it.
But do we have anything else to say at this point? Because we just went on 10 minutes about just that one part.
Oh, it's an important part of the movie. It's the end of the movie. It's the end of the climax.
The end of the movie.
It's the end of the
end
climax.
credit scenes.
It's the end of the climax. And the end of the climax is the best part.
The end credit scene was disappointing.
And then there's the cuddling. The end credit scene, which there were two of them. There was the cat threw up the cube, and then there was... Oh, right.
The Avengers gathering around the pager.
Yeah.
The pager that she modified.
I mean, what did you expect?
I was hoping, like...
You were hoping for the Kree to be like, by the way, we're still dickheads! Is that what you wanted?
I was hoping for something like, so he sends the message, she gets the message, and she's like, okay, time to head back to Earth. And off she goes.
How is that...
So,
like,
because
realistically any different than what happened?
Because it's gonna validate what I want.
What do you want, Will?
I want her in the next movie, which is going to happen. That's like guaranteed to happen. But instead of, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to create suspense around it amongst people that don't know that she's going to be in there. Like, that's going to happen.
How is this creating suspense? It showed her there. That's not suspense.
No, it didn't.
That's deliverance.
It showed them. It showed them the pager. Mm-hmm. And it went off and it stopped transmitting.
Yeah, and then she showed up and said, "Where's Fury?"
Oh, she did. Fuck off.
It was the last second.
I completely forgot about that. You're right.
God bless it, Will. You piece of garbage.
Okay. I guess that is kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know why I forgot about that 5 second, 2 second.
Like, she was literally there, yeah. Like, she just showed up.
I don't know why I forgot about that. That's like a...
I want to know how she didn't age. Is that a byproduct of
her hair
fart
grew?
energy?
Her hair grew.
That's not aging. No, that's...
I mean, time does pass when your hair grows.
You know, if you go back and look at pictures of me from 2010, my
know,
hair's longer
You know,
than
if
it
you
is
go
now.
back to pictures of me from 2 years ago, I look like a child. We saw that earlier tonight. Yeah. No, well, the question is, do Kree's age?
She's not Kree!
She absorbed Kree energy. She is half Kree, half human.
That's...
So,
if I inject myself with Mia's blood, do I become half dog? Because there are some people I know that would actually
believe that.
do that. On every level except physical, I am a wolf.
What was I saying? God.
End credit scene.
End credit scene. She shows up. She's not aged. What? I don't have a problem with that.
No, I just want... Like, I don't have a problem with it either, because I understand how time works.
Or maybe she travels through time.
Well, and I thought maybe that would be an angle, too, they could play.
That could be an angle.
You age differently when you're... depending on where it's...
Actually, a lot of people expected them to play with time in this movie. To kind of start introducing that.
Because that's clearly going to be a factor in the next one.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic.
It's... Okay, to be fair, sometimes I don't know when I'm being sarcastic, so the line has blurred.
So, do you have anything else to add at this point? I'm pretty...
I think I'm pretty tapped.
I'm tanked as far as everything that I goozed on.
The guy on their team... Goozed? The guy on their team...
Like the cat Goose.
That had the laser swords that was in Guardians of the Galaxy at the beginning.
Yeah. He's Kree.
Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, right, this is why I was confused, because I forgot at that point that Kree were dicks, and then I remembered after he stopped being in the movie.
Yeah, he was in this movie. Also, what's his name? Hammer Dude.
I know, I couldn't think of his name earlier. I was so mad that there wasn't a fight between him and Ronan. I was so mad that there wasn't a fight between him and Captain Marvel.
Actually, I kind of liked that.
I like the fact that he was...
Fuck out of here.
I like the fact that he was like, it would be dick-tarded to stay, so we're out. But
I liked that. Like, that was clever.
But I wanted to, like... Because I liked him from Avengers Assemble. Mm-hmm. He was like... I was like, oh, there's a big-ass guy with a hammer that's gonna, like, break the planet. Mm-hmm. Like, that's gonna suck. Like, I wanted to see some of that. But, I mean, I know he wasn't that powerful at that point, so I don't know what...
Does he die at end of Guardians?
They sort of explode him.
Did he blow? Did he blow?
Which, yeah, it's a shame, because I wanted to see him, like, come back with Thanos and be like, what shall I break, father?
Well, he says at the end of the movie, we will come back for the weapon. Mm-hmm. But they're like, oh, the cube? And he's like, no, her.
Right, but he did now.
Yeah, so that's why I was double checking. I was like, is he dead?
He did.
So I liked the fact that like
Oh,
she,
I bet
like,
that'll
fucking
be in. I
took-
bet
she
be in
took
Marvel
down-
too. Captain Marvel too. They'll show up. They'll track her down.
Oh, like
That's a setup for
it'll be
her sequel.
It'll be between Captain Marvel,
Marvel
1
and-
and Endgame.
Well, and probably theoretically Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Okay, there's a movie that came out in
Or
2008
Guardians.
called Guardians. Then.
Because that's where Ronan shows up next in the movies.
Right. Theoretically, I'm assuming that it will still take place in the 90s, or at the very least, the early 2000s.
Because it can
sequel,
happen during
or sequel.
Iron Man 1.
I mean,
or Iron Man 2, or Iron Man 3, technically. Because those all happened before Endgame.
I mean, you're right. I'm assuming they're gonna. I guess I don't know why they would. There's no 90s nostalgia to play off of.
They have early
Space.
2000s nostalgia.
In
to play
space,
off of.
Will! Listen to my sentences.
But no,
Yeah,
she-
well, we could bring back Janko jeans and the ramen hair, and sure, why not? Fuck it. Let's have Ronin with ramen hair and Janko jeans.
Jesus.
I would actually.
You'd watch the shit out of that, wouldn't
Fucking
you?
awesome, dude. Dude,
but-
what are you wearing? What? It's stylish on your planet. But in a better voice than mine.
With the hood and everything.
Yeah, with the hood, but you can see the
The curls
nudities,
coming
yeah.
out of his...
Have a cameo with
Oh my god, the
Justin
Jenko
Timberlake.
jeans would, like, line up perfectly with how his hood is, like,
Yeah, he would
perfectly
look
shaped.
like kind of like a
Like
pyramid.
a fucking tree.
Until it got down to like just the below the knee area, and it would just be two skinny blue legs.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Put some Vans on him. Have him have a "and one" T-shirt where it's just complete in the image.
Oh god. This is reminding me of middle school right now.
Me too. I have like "and one" printed on on my eyes from the kid that sat in front of me all year 8th grade in Mr. Eichhorn's class.
God. Okay.
I don't remember what he taught, but I remember "and one" Mr. Eichhorn's class.
So, I think
I
we're
think we
good.
tapped it. Yeah, we're good.
That's gonna conclude our
Spoiler.
spoiler-full review of Captain Marvel on Drinks and Geeks. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and we will see you guys at our next video. Bye.